Hello and welcome to today's video. After doing my last couple Shop My Stashes, I've realized that my makeup storage is getting a little full. So I think it's time to go through and make some room. Also, just through doing those Shop My Stashes, it's helped me test out products this year more than I have in years previous. And I think there's some things that I've put into my Shop My Stashes that I don't necessarily want in my collection anymore. I'm gonna try my best to make this quick and painless. I don't have a lot of time to sit here and contemplate as I'm about to go to work. So this will be a good old-fashioned speed declutter. If you'd like to see more declutters from me, I will leave a playlist below. If you enjoy this video while you're watching, please do go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and get rid of some things. All right, so let's get started. I do just want to mention, because someone always asks me in the comments, any makeup that I do declutter today, if it's expired, no longer usable, that I'm just going to put in the trash. But if it's still in good condition, then it will go to friends and family. So this drawer over here on the right side is products that I've recently acquired or have newly tested. You can see the Kosas there at the top. So that we'll leave alone. And then I also have over here, this is my top drawer of products. And these are products I reach for every day. There's also some things in here that I haven't tried yet. So that I'll leave alone. You can see my Shop My Stash basket down below, as well as my empties. It's getting full, so I have to film that soon, probably in the next couple of weeks. But up here, and I don't always show this when I do my Shop My Stash, on the left, I have some Fenty liquid lipsticks and then glitter and glows and things like it. I recently went to put on, it's a black shade, I can't remember what it's called, of these liquid lipsticks, and it smelled kind of fishy. So I went ahead and just threw it away. I went through earlier and smelled these too, and unfortunately this shade, it's called Uncuffed, I also fear has expired. I used to wear the shade all the time, and obviously I haven't reached for it in a while, as I didn't realize that. So this is gonna go. These three still seem okay. And then of these guys, this is fine. These I've all purchased within the last year and a half about. But I know some of these can go. I did a eye makeup declutter last year, and I think I got rid of maybe 4 or 5 of these. I had something like 13 or 14 of them. I went a little crazy when they first came out, and I don't think I've reached for a single one of these all year. So I'd like to get rid of 3 of them. So I just quickly went through and tested them on the back of my hand. That's kind of hard to film with one hand. And as you can see, some of them had been drying out. They only deposited the glitter and they were no longer creamy. So those 4, Wonderlust, oh, I used to love that shade. La Douce, I guess is how you say that, Rose Gold Retro, and Fairy Tale. So those can go. And now they all fit nicely up there. Let's move to palettes next. Here is my palette storage cart. Let's start at the bottom since we're here. Now, a couple of these, they're just there because that's where there's room for them, but I keep some of these because they have a sentimental value to me. I know that's ridiculous, but I'm a makeup lover. What can I say? Jouer is the one I used on my wedding day. This one from Jaclyn Hill, well, it's from Morphe, but it's in collaboration with Jaclyn Hill. This is called, I think it's Berry something or other. No, Bling Boss. It has a lot of berry tones in it. It's very dirty, as you can see, but this is the palette I used in my first ever Get Ready With Me. It's the first palette that I used on camera, so I have to keep that. I like my little minis from Huda Beauty. I do think I want to get rid of this one. This is the Tartist Pro Glow. I had this, I think it was in my 20 in 2020 project pan last year, and even then I had a hard time forcing myself to reach for it. Some contour and bronzer shades in there, and then highlighters. I haven't reached for this since that video, so this can be decluttered. Moving to the second shelf, I have all my ABH palettes in here. I think some of these I want to start putting in my Shop My Stashes as well. I'm going to keep all of those for now. ColourPop X Animal Crossing. I don't think I would get rid of those either way. They are a collector's thing for me. Some more from ColourPop. This I think can go. This is the Misunderstood palette. Also in that 20 in 2020 project pan. Haven't reached for this all year. It's a pretty palette, but I like palettes, and I could mix things up and use multiple, but this only has 5 matte shades and the rest are shimmers. I like palettes that are a little more half and half or even heavier on the mattes. I feel like they just give me more options for how I like to do makeup, so I don't think I will miss this one. And then the top part, have some from Juvia's, Huda Beauty, Lunar Beauty. This is another thing that it's a collector's item for me, and I never use this. Maybe a potential Shop My Stash in the future. I have some from Morphe back here. Both of these two were gifted to me. I just pulled these out to see what the names were, the 35V and the 35F. I'll be keeping those. I think I'm also going to get rid of this. This was one of my first palettes. I've had it for forever. I love how much variety this palette has, but I have palettes with very similar shades to them. I don't really love Morphe like I used to, and also their cruelty-free status is a bit shady. And I tend to not reach for products like that I'm not 100% sure of very often. So for all of those reasons, I will be decluttering this. I think that's it for palettes. So while we're down here, this drawer always looks chaotic, but I promise it is organized somewhat. I have a bunch of lashes. I have backstocks over here of products. Too Faced Better Than Sex. This used to be one of my favorite mascaras. I went through the one I had. I think it was in my Shop My Stash, one of them recently. These tend to dry out and get clumpy pretty fast. This was just a freebie from work. It was gratis. But because it does dry out pretty fast, and I have other ones that I reach for on the daily, I'm going to give this one to a new home. I have cream shadows and single shadows. Let's go ahead and get rid of this one. This is an always on liquid eyeshadow. I think this was a collection from Smashbox from a year or two ago. I love the always on cream shadows and I reach for them all the time, but this one I have neglected. I remember it being pretty, but not pretty enough to make me want to reach for it more. So I'll add this to the pile. I don't know if there's any singles I'd want to get rid of. I love this one. This is Ladybird from ColourPop. The Hourglass Scattered Light. I have some of the Kaja trios. I'll leave these alone, I think. This one is definitely in need of some decluttering. So the first thing I want to go through is concealers. I love the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer as well as the Kosas Revealer Concealer, and I reach for those pretty often. And even though some of these were past favorites, they've just been replaced. Keep this. I do like this concealer a lot, and I think I'm going to like it more in the wintertime because right now it's a little light for me. I like the Pretty Fresh. Of hydrating, again, a little light for me right now. This can definitely go though. It's kind of starting to separate a little bit. I used to use this all the time as a base for shadows, but I love the KVD Shake Primer and that's all I reach for nowadays. So I'll add that. The NYX Born to Glow, I need to reach for that more often. And this one I put into a Shop My Stash, this one from Pacifica, and I remember liking this more on my face for pimples and whatnot, or just for extra coverage. So I'll keep that too. I'm just going to get rid of the ColourPop one. I'm going to leave those out so we can go through the foundation. I also have a couple foundations like the Bite Changemaker, the one from Zoeva, the Good Apple from KVD that I just need to test more, but right now they're a little too light for me. So those I'll put into future Shop My Stashes. I know some of these stick foundations though I've had for a while. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this one. I've had this probably for at least 3 years. I remember having this in the beginning of my channel. I love this. I used to reach for this all the time. This is the Vanish Stick Foundation in the shade Porcelain. I'm not someone who wears foundation every day either. I generally do skin tints or tinted moisturizers, and the cream stick foundations I tend to reach for in the winter. So that's very limited use for me, on top of the fact that it's probably expired. I'll use the other two cream foundations. This is one from Bare Minerals and one from Huda Beauty. This one I just bought last year. I'll use those more in the winter time. I think I'm okay with the rest of the foundations. Setting sprays I probably won't get rid of either just because I reach for those pretty often. I also will use them to dampen my brushes. I have 3 of the Catrice Dewy Glows open. I love this stuff so much. What happens is it gets down to the very end. There's like the tiniest amount left in here and I don't want to waste it. So I'll open these and pour it into one of them that has room. But the problem is this black cap is such a bitch to get off. So I always put off doing it. So here's my reminder. Primers I think I'm also pretty good with. I never reach for this. This was in a Shop My Stash this year, and even when I forced myself to use it, I still didn't reach for it as much. I think this can go. I'll keep the setting powders for now. Brow products I tend to keep just because I do change my hair color pretty often. I'll get rid of this one. This is the Can't Stop, Won't Stop Longwear Brow Kit in Auburn. I think I used this in a video. I don't remember my thoughts on it, so that must mean it wasn't very important to me. It has this paintbrush thing on the end. I know I won't be using that, so this can go. I definitely want to get rid of some mascaras. I keep saying this in videos. I have mascaras I love. I love the Ilia Limitless Lash Mascara. I have a hard time reaching for anything else. Even when I put a mascara into a Shop My Stash, I don't want to reach for it because I love the way the Ilia one makes my lashes look. And I think a lot of these are just going to continue to sit and dry out. And now I've put the majority of these into Shop My Stashes, and I know which ones I won't miss. So that is the Big Ego. This was in my last one, and I like this, but it was starting to dry out, and I just don't see myself reaching for it. Same thing with the CoverGirl Exhibitionist. This is a really lovely mascara. That's a primer. These two are colorful ones, so I'll keep those. I love the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl. Flower can go. I haven't put this into a Shop My Stash yet. I don't think I have, so I'll keep that one. Maybe I'll do that next time. Or did I do it in like January or February and I just don't remember? This year has just flown by. I'll have to check, but because I can't remember right now, I'll keep it. This is a concealer. It's a white concealer. I used to use this as a base. It can go over there. This one too, I've also put this into a Shop My Stash, but I haven't gotten a lot of use out of this one, and it's not drying out. So I'll keep that one too. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this whole cup out so we can get a closer look at the liners. I finally have some sun coming through the window. These are gel liners, and I'm going to keep all 3 of those. I'm automatically going to take out any of my LA Girl ones because I love them so much. These are safe. Same thing with these ones from NYX. I bought these all within the last year. I love my milk liners. I think I have 3 of the black ones open. I need to pull out the ones that just have a little bit left. That leaves these guys. This can go. This is from ColourPop. It's a liquid liner. It's called the Hills, I believe. It's a green liner. This was drying out the last time I went to use it. I forgot one of the LA Girl ones. I have 2 of these Epic ink liners from NYX, and one of them, the tip is all wonky. It's this one. See how the hairs are bent down? Going to declutter this. And I think I'm okay with everything else for now. I'll put these back and we can move on to lipsticks. While we're sitting, I'm going to pull this out. This is all my lip liners. I probably won't get rid of much of these just because I like to have variety in my lip liners rather. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get rid of any of these. There's some I definitely don't reach for as much. I feel like the second I get rid of some of these, I'm going to be doing my lipstick and trying to find a lip liner that matches. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I decluttered it. I'm going to hold on to these, maybe next time. This top part I'm going to place down so we can see everything. This one is mostly lip glosses and liquid lipsticks and mostly bullet lipsticks. Lips are probably the hardest thing for me to declutter, if you couldn't tell from when I just try to get rid of some lip liner. I know I have a good amount here, but all of the formulas are different. Lip glosses, liquid lipstick, tinted lip balm, regular lipsticks. And it's another area where I just like to have variety. I like to have my options. But let's see if there's anything I can get rid of. This is meringue from Bite, and this is their old formula. I've used this a good amount. It's about halfway. I don't think I will miss this one. And it's gotten a fair amount of use and probably about to expire if it hasn't already. I'm going to get rid of this Tayberry from Aveda. These are probably about 2.5 years old. I bought them right before I left Aveda. This one is a really pretty purple, but I just don't reach for it very often. Definitely more of a fall winter lipstick for me, but I don't see myself using this. Usually with darker colors like that one, I like to have them in a liquid lipstick formula just so they don't transfer and get all over the place. I'm gonna get rid of this too. This is from Josie Moran. This is the Embrace It Honey. It's like a lip plumper kind of thing. I think it maybe has a little bit of a tint. I haven't used this in forever, and I have another lip plumper that when I use one, I like to use. I think I was just keeping this for the bee. This is probably dried out, the Make Believe from ColourPop. I have one from Fenty that I really love. It's called You Dig. I used to love this shade. It's the prettiest periwinkle shade. Even with it being blue, it just did something for my skin. I was obsessed with this color. And I was trying to find a liquid lipstick like it. You can see that looks like it's separated there. I'm going to keep the Fenty one, but get rid of the ColourPop. Crush from ABH. This is also starting to separate. This comes up too. I keep lip balms on the top, and then the bottom has some tinted things and some lip plumpers. Let's move on to glosses from Bite again. These are just old. That looks so gross. This is the flat white. I'll get rid of that. This is an old formula, and that was kind of weird. They had this huge rise. Like, I remember seeing them in every creator's video. Samantha Ravindal always talked about these. But when Bite went through and reformulated their whole collection, I think that was mostly to make everything vegan, they didn't bring these back. And I was really surprised. This is automatically going to go because it's gross, but then I also have this salted caramel. As you can see, I haven't even opened it. I bought this when it was on sale at Sephora before they did redo that line. I'll open this and check to see if it's expired, but for now I'm going to also put it into the pile. I just don't love to use things that are discontinued on my channel when I'm doing my makeup, and it makes me not reach for them as often. Let's see how this Dirty Chai is back here. Also separated. This one from Stila. This is one of the first things I bought when I started working at Ulta. So it's over 2 years old and it is not looking so great. This is the shade Full Throttle. I like this around the time that I bought it, but another thing that just not enough for me to reach for it more often over the other things I have. This can go. I'm going to keep all the little ones from Fenty for now. Most of these are newer. Well, not this one. This looks like it's starting to turn a little bit too. So Juicy from ColourPop. I think one of these two, maybe the Golden Parachute. This is a little too gold for me. Made some room there. I can move things around and organize this later when I do my next Shop My Stash. Let's take a look and do a rundown of everything I decluttered. There is my pile. It's a good amount. It's better than I thought I was going to do. Morphe X Jaclyn Hill, the Misunderstood from ColourPop, Tarte Pro Glow, 4 of the Stila Glitter and Glows, the Brighten Up from Essence, Hourglass Foundation, the ColourPop Concealer, 4 mascaras. I'm really proud of that one. Cream Shadow from Smashbox, a brow product, as well as 2 liners, liquid eyeliners, the lip plumper, 2 traditional lipsticks, 3 liquid lipsticks, the 3 glosses from Bite. Like I said, I'm just going to open this one up and see what it looks like, and I'll figure out what to do with that one. And then 3 glosses. So that's it. I hope you all enjoyed this declutter. I would love to hear your thoughts on anything I showed in my collection, but especially the items that I am getting rid of today. I'm going to try to keep these up. I think I did my last speed declutter in the spring. I don't see myself doing this every season, but I think every other is a really good pace. If you enjoyed today's video, you can let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see me and more of my remarks, please subscribe if you haven't already. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon.